like Amazon, I want it now. I want you to put my food in my mouth. I mean, everything about consumers today is about impulse. It's about now. Everything they want now. And that is the consumer we are dealing with. Everything is in one click. Even in content consumption patterns, everything is happening in one click. We have a lot of content which we all see. And that's why, I started with Instagram saying that there are millions and millions of followers who are, and content creators who are creating thousands and thousands of content on every single minute. And I'm sure there's a hundred because you have many more apps. Even discoverability is a challenge on your own phone, by the way. Finding, of course, YouTube. If you have a different folder for it, you go into the folder and find it. Hang on. Then you open the app. Then you search on the app exactly what video are you looking for. Then you scroll to find the one you want to watch. And then you play the video. And then there is an ad before you actually can watch a video. So there are 8 steps before actually you can. And then, of course, wait. There's another ad before you can actually watch the video because YouTube wants to launch a 5-seconder without skip. There is a lot, and this journey is not very simple. This journey is not easy. It's actually not very easy for a consumer. Yes, we are in the world of an amazing place where never before such amazing content has been created, but it's an effort actually to be there. And 8 clicks to watch one piece of content. Seriously, I think we all need to give it a serious thought in terms of how discoverability of some amazing content. And by the way, most of this content actually is getting produced with a lot of money going into it. It's not that, the content, it's not free, it's not easy, it's not cheap to make this content. There's a lot of money getting pumped into this content for making it. But, more often than not, what happens, even after all of this exercise, all of this effort you have made, most of the content does not get the right attention. All of that effort which you had put in, the creator had put in, the consumer had put in to reach your content, it actually goes for a toss because attention is not there. And that brings me to the next point in terms of, okay, how can we make it simple? How can we actually make it? Is there a simpler journey? Is there somewhere where we can actually make this journey so simple that discoverability is almost serendipitous? It's almost there in your face. And that's exactly where, this is the imagination where we started off saying that, can there be a place where there is absolutely no friction, absolutely no hurdles in terms of reaching your own content? Requires innovation. Yes, it's not being just on another app to visit, right? The question is, there are many apps. There are millions of apps loaded onto app stores on a daily basis. There will be millions more. There will be millions, every day in, day out, which is getting uploaded. Again, the discoverability challenge is still there. And in a place where, we visit very, very often, and that is exactly what we did, your lock screen. How many of you actually wake up with your mobile phone in your hand every day morning? Come on, we all do that. Yes, whether it's there's a joke, by the way. People touch their mobile before they touch their spouses if you're married. That's how, my wife complains, but that's true. You actually look at your phone actually on the lock screen for more than 50, 60 times. It varies in how often you want to use it and how often you actually are. We talked about nomophobia, right? Of not even having a mobile. It's actually true. A lot of my friends go through it. If the phone is not in their pocket, they feel that some part of the body is missing, literally. And that is how we are addicted. And that is exactly the opportunity and the innovation or the invention of what we are talking about today. And What do we do? We do a lot. We check notifications, we dismiss notifications. I've been doing it on my watch these days, but yeah. Maybe we use camera, we use a lot of other stuff, while we are at it. What can we do? Okay, what happened? Sorry. Yeah, what can we do? Obviously there are more things which the lock screen can be done, and that is exactly where Glance comes in. And it is not just a lock screen anymore, it is actually the window to your content consumption. Imagine a world of, imagine an appless world where there is no app. Discoverability is not there. Discoverability is more intuitive because of the content you actually watched or not watched in the past. And this is not an app that you need to enter throughout with a lot of effort which you have to put in, because this is where content actually comes to you. You open the lock screen and you have curated content which is available to millions of Indonesians actually right now. We reach to almost 30 million Indonesians, and a lot of those people actually spend a lot of time discovering content, discovering most premium curated content, because it is on the lock screen. And lock screen obviously is essentially a premium, pristine real estate, as we call it, in making sure that we have all these content available to you. And how we actually position in that angle is, today it is not about content or ads anymore. It's not about ads anymore. It's about experiences, what we can create. It's about how brand comes to you in real life and actually engages with you with a lot more experiences. And we, in the Glance ecosystem, we don't really talk about ads at all. There's no ads. It's not about ads. It's about content and experiences, and how we can inspire with the kind of content experiences we are creating. There are millions of unique experiences. We produce a lot of content. We curate a lot of content. We partner a lot of content. And some of them in this room who are our content partners, who give us some amazing content, who actually are in a very unique discoverability mode, are available on Glance. And the lock screen exactly is where we generate millions of views. So imagine you are not going through this effort in that sense. And there is, in one of the examples here quoted, 626 million views have been created in 6 months just on the lock screen devices in that sense. There is more.
Kami berhak, kami pantas, dan kami layak.
And that's exactly where we took this to another level. We have live gaming experiences, esports experiences on lock screen. In fact, this is one of the examples where we did a Goddess League. We did the first all-woman PUBG tournament with 10 women gamers of local Indonesian origin. And it generated some amazing feedback. It was on lock screen, it was in a live environment, it was live telecasted onto the lock screens or in the Glance environment. And it is one of the busiest places where a lot of brands are coming and asking us, how do we engage with this opportunity? And we are going and we are taking this to the next level, and we are actually making it an IP, a Goddess League IP for on Glance, wherein Glance will actually do series of these gamings. Today it might be PUBG, tomorrow it might be Valorant, third day it might be something else. And we will continue to build these. And another example here is, in fact,
punya yang sudah dilepas semua. Salah satu cangkangnya. Jadi seperti ini. Ini dia.
So this is another interesting example. So we thought of, okay, gaming is one as a category. How do we take it to another category? We actually made a MasterChef kind of a program with our partner IndoFoods, and actually created a whole series of these episodes wherein they will use IndoFoods products and they will create a program. This is one of the big things in Ramadan, for example. We all know that there are multiple occasions where food is consumed, and brands are trying to talk to the consumers within those ecosystems. Now, this is something which we have been very successfully pushing in the market, wherein we are saying, can we create half an hour to 1 hour show every day of 30 days of Ramadan. And every day the brand can come and associate whether you want to have your own product within the recipe, or you want to be on the side, you want the celebrity chef wearing something of your brand, all of that, because everything is done locally in Indonesia, and there's a multiple opportunities what we can do in this. Similarly, there is a lot of other opportunities which are engaging in a lot of other markets. One of the things which is live DJing. There's a lot of millions of people who can actually simultaneously connect with you, in a live environment where probably 800,000 people logged into one of these events which we are showcasing here. It's probably more than 10 stadiums in Jakarta. And how can you drive this experience as a content creator? Because yes, there is a lot of consumers, there is a lot of devices which are in the market which are basically creating or creating this opportunity for consuming this content, but equally there is a whole host of ecosystem which we have created for content creators. There are a bunch of content creators who work with us, go from essentially we are driving a much better engagement on a lot of content creators as compared to their existing their existing partners in terms of distribution, right? Whichever distribution partner they're using right now. And there are multiple, because again, everything boils down to how do we drive one-click engagement, and that one-click engagement will bring in to a whole host of opportunities together. And FIFA, for example, there was a show parallelly. So we sent actually a celebrity, local Indonesian person to Qatar, and actually he was doing a live coverage of a couple of matches in Qatar when the FIFA World Cup was happening, and it was all on glance live. It was watched 626 million times in the course of the 2 months of what FIFA was happening. So all in all, I think it's absolutely a place where we are trying to reinvent the way consumers are consuming content and the creators are actually creating. And in that sense, it's a whole new ecosystem which is getting built. So get on with your lock screen and lock their glance. And that brings me to the end of my presentation. And with me is my dear friend, RIZKI, who is head of marketing, GoPlay. And I would like to have a fireside chat with RIZKI. RIZKI, come on over. Thank you, RIZKI. I know you. I think I met you first time when you were in Lazada. I don't think you also remember it.
I think so, yeah.
Yes, it's been a long time, and we have known each other a lot. But this occasion, I wanted to understand more about you and more about how we can together talk about Ramadan and GoPlay and what you guys are doing in GoPlay and all of that. So, of course, you have had an amazing career for a very, very long time, and you have held multiple roles in the industry. Very senior guy, very well-respected guy, and I know that for sure. So tell us a little more about your personal journey, how digital industry happened, and what do you do at GoPlay for the larger audience?
Thanks, Narayan. I feel like this is kind of like one of those age-revealing statements, but yeah. So I've had the fortune to have like quite a long career in digital. Some of you probably know me from my e-commerce days, so I was kind of like in the early generation of Lazada, Rocket Internet. After that, after I do some regional roles, I work with Happy Fresh, and then I do Era Jaya, the phone retailer, where I help bring the digital transformation to them, launching the .com, and after that, I do online groceries with Happy Fresh, and then I moved to Singapore with eBay, doing heading the Indonesia cross-border trading business. After that, it's a little bit skewed because my background is computer engineering. So previously at the e-commerce, I was mostly doing marketing, business, performance marketing. Now I'm going back with my computer engineering roots, and I basically joined an AI company, back and forth, Jakarta, New York, and basically SEA. And now I had the privilege to go back again to Jakarta with GoPlay. Yeah. So it's totally different, as you can see, from e-commerce to AI to now entertainment. But I think the general idea is that it's like, probably I might be like oversimplifying. It's like driving a car, Honda, Toyota, etc. Different brands, but you probably know which gas to push, which lever to pull, so something like that. And I'm very happy. I'm also being supported by a lot of friends here, like you, Narayan. We've come a long way, and also some of familiar faces here. And thanks, of course, to Pak Rohit and Bu Santi for still remembering me. So that's probably like some short.
You're saying it is entertainment because all the entertainment companies are actually talking about AI driven now.
Sorry?
All the entertainment companies are talking about AI driven now. So AI driven is not different from entertainment anymore.
Yeah, so it's actually a different AI. It's so much more on the security part though. But I think kind of like entertainment, yeah. When you speak about entertainment, and I think from the previous speaker as well, everybody is moving towards that direction, right? Previously, you also mentioned about the one-click discovery, one-click content, right? And if we to look back like on the early days of e-commerce, right? You need to explain. I still remember like every Ramadan, I need to explain to my mom, like, Rizky, what are you doing? Oh, I'm doing e-commerce. Okay, Rizky, what are you doing? I'm doing online groceries. Okay, what are you doing? So from selling fashion, selling phones, now I'm selling bananas online. Now I'm selling coffee, cross-border trading from Indonesia to other part of the world. So innovation keep changing. And I think the latest trend is like what Mas Tengku just mentioned before. Is like entertainment plus live shopping or live commerce, right? Shoppertainment, correct. And if previously you need to, for example, like because one of the best part and most challenging about e-commerce is that it's not like the offline physical world where you go to one store to another store, from one mall to mall, you need to take a go-car taxi and then took like a 5-minute drive, 10-minute drive. You just need to open up a tab, right? And to drive people to conversion, you need to basically kind of like ambush people. Like if they search, you need to show up. If they go to social media, you need to show up. Right, but now with live shopping, with entertainment, and I think I really like the word that you mentioned, is that spontaneous, right? Instead of like opening up a new app, if you, for example, like want to shop a clothes, right? You can just say on the chat with the host, and the live streaming host, say that, hey, my height is 170 centimeters, my weight is X kilograms, does this look good for you? Does this look good for me? Can you pick it up? Or like usually in the live commerce language in Indonesia, kakak spill, does this food looks good? Does this food looks taste good? So it actually generates more and more human interaction and keeping the audience engaged in one screen.
Correct. It's almost like going back to the shop and asking him, or
Correct.
asking the salesman or the
Correct.
saleswoman.
Yep.
Cool. I still remember the first year I came to Indonesia. The first time in my life was in Ramadan time. And it was a very unique experience for me, amazing food. Although I'm a vegetarian, I still got a lot of food. And so going back to the Ramadan rush, I mean, I know over the time, especially, I mean, a couple of speakers have already spoken about it in terms of post-pandemic, I think there is like a vengeance shopping which is going to happen, right? There's a lot of Ramadan rush which is happening. So I'm sure you and your team are also talking to a lot of brands and a lot of agencies in the room to create a custom content play on GoPlay as a platform, right? I'm sure as a larger go-to as a company also, there is a lot of integrations with GoPay and GoPlay and Gojek and a lot of other stuff.
Yep.
So can you talk a little bit more about how the marketing efforts you are using those marketing efforts to create experiences? Because as I talked about Glance, I'm sure GoPlay also talks a very similar language.
Yeah, so I think kind of like, I'm just gonna be honest, like there is no secret sauce, right? We always tend to like overthink, like, do the customer funnel, blah, blah, blah. But I think kind of like the number one ingredient is you need to speak from the heart. Know the audience. So for example, if you know the audience mostly are in the SC, ND, live in the rurals, then this is the kind of language that you need to use.
Yeah.
Localized, etc., which I think kind of like, besides doing the usual, using the usual performance marketing, we also do a community approach. And of course, the content itself, the presentation need to look cool, right? I mean, you bring the traffic, you need to keep them engaged and stays. You need to do a retention. But I think that's number one. You need to use language that resonates with the audience. And one of the key, because right now we have like so many options, right? Like chat apps. I have chat apps for works, I have chat apps for my colleague, I have chat apps for my gaming friends, I have chat apps for my, I don't know, something like that, right? But one of the rising channels, and I'm not trying to oversell you, but is of course me and my team has been experimenting with Glance, and I think it shows like a good mix between views and some engagement from the users.
Yeah, and I mean, I know we are short of time, but definitely we want to know more about how GoPlay has approached the whole Ramadan. Anything specific you do for Ramadan? Of course, Ramadan is a big rush in terms of marketing activity which happens in Indonesia. So what is that GoPlay is trying to do? And you know, considering how gaming is important, how esports is getting more and more, how shoppertainment, and I know GoPlay mixes all of these things together into a very entertainment way of looking at things. So what is that you're doing for this Ramadan? Any glimpses, any category examples if you can give?
Yep. So I think it's interesting when you speak about GoPlay in Ramadan. So first of all, I'm going to be brutally honest. GoPlay is probably different than other live streaming platform because we try to, in our language, keep it halal, bro. There are many other live streaming platform that drives traffic or engagement using extreme contents. So because we are part of Gojek, we're part of GoTo, we cannot do all the NSFW contents. We try to keep it halal, and because of that, we have a strong relationship with some of the religious leaders. So from masjid, from the mosque, even from the church, we have a very strong religion category. So that's number one. Number two, of course, the behavior of the, so that's besides other category, music, games, etc. We are seeing them, of course, there's a significant pattern behavior. However, number two, what I want trying to say is that streaming users also have a shifting behavior during the Ramadan. So for example, in the morning, you will see less people streaming and watching live stream and watching because probably people still sleep from sahur, right? And people will start waking up on 11, on 12, etc. And I think kind of like basically mirror the prime time shifting into the 4 p.m. into 9 to 10 p.m. Because at that time it's the buka puasa, right? People are waiting for the buka puasa, waiting for the maghrib. After that they have dinners together, etc., etc. But generally we are seeing more and more gaming contents and music contents during the 4 p.m. After that, basically it's prime time as usual.
Yeah, in fact, that is very interesting because we at Glance also look at it from a very television lens these days. So we have movies which we are playing on the weekends and prime time. We have episodes, full episodes of Indonesian content which is running on. So we segment our day as the morning and the afternoon and so typically like television how it used to happen, right? So great. So any specific thing which you want to talk about in terms of mobile being the center of the entire marketing activity these days, and as last comment, how do you see this grow? How do you see this go to the next level? What might probably happen with something like more chat GPT and AI and creative AIs and a couple of things what Rohit also talked about. Anything of comments on that?
Yeah, so I think first I want to go back to what Pa Rohit mentioned earlier. I think it's point number 3, if not 4, multi-screen, right? I think multi-screen gonna be super important. So my background is e-commerce, right? So I usually have like a certain kind of trying to pattern recognition, like shopping from like shoppers from e-commerce A to e-commerce B. Do we find like similarities, etc., like discount? Of course, what we want to reach is the end users or the retailers, right? Not the quote unquote the B2B.
Yeah.
So I think multi-screen is going to be like super important, and especially going hyperlocal, because multi-screens and hyperlocal, you have like a specific audience. For example, in West Java, you are targeting the audience using the local language and using the local jokes, and I think more and more application now are using location as part of their recommendation.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
right?
Understood. I know we're at time up, but we can keep talking whole day like this. But thank you so much, RIZKI, for taking time out and being a part of the panel, and always love to chat with you. Looking forward for more chats like this.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yep.
Thank you very much.